Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we will resolve the app module.ts file related error that we have in the previous video. We have actually facing some error related issues. So we need to resolve this issue. So first of all, we need to remove the entry app component entry from the main.ts file. So now what we can do here it is, here we need to create one more file which is called the app module.ts file, and inside the app module.ts file so here first we need to use export class app module, then afterwards we need to use @ng module, and inside the ng module we need to define the declaration part. Declaration, and declaration have array. So in the declaration part we need to define app component, then afterwards in imports we also need to define browser module, then afterwards in the providers I think here we need to register our service related code, but thing is we already injected our services, so I think we do not need to provide the service file here. So that is the reason I will right now we will make it as empty, and afterwards bootstrap app component. Okay, now I think it is ready, and here also we need to define the NGRX related modules. So basically we need to also define the HTTP client module for the API request. So this module is consumed in the service file which I have created here, and this is the package that is a required dependency over the HTTP client module. Then afterwards tool module for root, and here we need to define our task reducer, then afterwards effects module root, and here we need to define the task effects, because effects actually containing the effects related code. To div tools module, and instrument. I think here we need to define the maximum age of 25. Also, I think okay, comma is missing. So browser model we will actually use for the we will provide the directives, pipe service that every Angular app needs. Always imported in the root model of the browser based Angular app. So that is the reason it is we have defined browser model. Then afterwards HTTP client model. Basically we will fetching the data from the backend and sending the user input to the server. Then afterwards store model, we will actually set up the global state management using the NGRX. Provide the central store that holds. So store model for root basically set up the global state management using the NGRX, and it will provide the central store that holds the state of the application. Then afterwards effect model, we will handle the side effects in the response in an action dispatch to the store. Then afterwards, store dev modules. Basically, it will integrate the Redux dev tools into the Angular app and allowing the developer to inspect and debug the state. So this one for the and maximum edge limit the number of the state change stored to the last 25. So here we will actually mention the number of the state changes stored to the last 25. Integrate Redux develop tool to integrate Redux dev tools. Then afterwards here effect models handle the side effects in response to action. Side effects like API calls, logging, in response to action dispatch to the store. And store model basically set up the global state management using set up the global state management using ng. Now what we can do here, it is in the main.ts file, we just before going to the main.ts file, we also need to understand how we can actually implement the app routes entry. So app route is nothing but whenever we have created new component, and at that time we also need to register our entry into this thing. Here we have already actually used the constant routes, but we do not have any entry. But still we need to register all the entries in the upcoming components. So we need to define this route entry into the app model.ts file. So what we can do here, it is this is the export constant route. So here we need to create the module for that app routing module.ts file. So what we can do here, it is we are renaming the file app route module.ts file, or what we can do here, it is simply routing.ts. Now so now we also need to define the routes. So what we can do here, it is iterate ng module, and inside the ng module. So what is this thing? This is for the decorator. That is actually when we are creating the files, at the time we also need to register our component and some entries that is required to running our app. So that is the reason we have created ng module imports router module dot for root routes exports, and here we need to define the router module, and simply export class app routing module. That's it. And whenever we are creating the new component, at that time we need to register our route entry here inside the array of this one. So now we need to import into the here app routing module. So now we need to open our Chrome browser, and we just need to check whether it is perfectly running our app or not. So what we can do here, it is okay, we are facing some error. Okay, so here entry, it is saying that app component is a standalone component. So we need to um, register our app module entry into the main.ts file. We have already forget about that. So what we can do here, it is open the main.ts file. So main.ts file, it is residing here, and so I need to switch into the VS Code. Sorry. Yeah. Now, so basically, this file is this file is actually written in the source folder and main.ts file. Now what we can do here, it is so here instead of the bootstrap application, we need to actually use the platform browser dynamic, and inside the platform browser dynamic dot, not a dot, it is calling the method, and then afterwards here bootstrap module, and inside the bootstrap module we need to define our app model. In an app model, if there is some error, then we need to catch in a catch block error, and simply console error. Now again we need to check in our Chrome browser if it is running or not. Okay, it is telling us that task is missing. Okay, again we just need to go in the app module.ts file. So inside the task.reducer.ts file, we are facing this error. So how we can resolve it? I think in a load task success, we have defined the task array. Okay. So I think we are facing one issue which is called for the task.reducer.ts file. We need to address this issue. So here it is saying that task is not assignable. So I think this error is coming because uh, we have made some mistake. Task.action.ts. Okay, got it. Task.action.ts. We have defined this one. This is wrong. We have to define task model. Now again, we need to check whether it is perfectly working in the app or not. So yeah, now I think it is perfectly running our app. So here you can see everything is running perfectly in the DevTools. So now again we will switch into the VS Code, and now we are focusing on the consuming our API in the component. So now we will consume one API, which is we have created in the load task. So what we can do here, it is first we above the ng on it, we need to define constructor, then afterwards private store what we can do here it is task create, and here we need to create one variable which is called the observable task observable task, and inside is store select state dot task dot task. Okay, right now we will skip this thing. We need to define the store this path and load task. So we have a load task we have defined, which is actually action is trigger and effect it is calling, and reducer making API call requests. So now we actually need to run our backend app. Just before we need to check our API it is running in the client side app itself. So what we can do here it is go to the open integrated terminal and go run min.go, and before running this app, please if you have not set up the backend app for the Postgre to do, then you can check it out my last videos. So now we need to open the Chrome browser, and we just need to check whether it is API is triggered successfully or not. So open the console using a press button of app 12, or you can do one thing, go to the inspect here. On the right click of the Chrome browser, you just need to go to the inspect and it will open this tab. So we need to refresh our page. Okay, we need to close it once again and we need to, okay. In a network request, I think it is triggering. You can you just need to open in the Microsoft Edge so that you can actually check it out whether it is API it is perfectly working or not. So I am switching it to the Microsoft Edge browser, and once again I'm going into the network tab and once again refresh the page and check whether it is perfectly working or not. I think it is showing the response of 200, but thing is the course it is not established, so that is the reason it is not actually receiving our response here. So we need to identify this issue on the backend side. So I think in upcoming videos I will also we also need to address this issue from the backend side, why it is not working in the client app to receive the data. So see you in upcoming next video.